Good morning, everybody. I would like to take some time out and talk about the Outdoor Expo. It was kind of a flop this year for the day that we went. And a shout out to Corey8791 for your recommendation on the reloading equipment. I don't know if he's a subscriber or if he's just a person that has watched the videos, but either way, I appreciate your input. Um, I've talked it over with a couple of people. We are going to start making our own targets. I have a couple of prototypes at my house right now, um, 4-inch and 8-inch circles. I'm going to be able to produce them a lot cheaper, and I'm going to sell them a lot cheaper than Cabela's. Um, my goal is to be able to hit a 4-inch target at 300 yards every time. I don't want to be an inconsistent shooter. I want to be a very consistent shooter. And to do that, I am going to step up my scope on my rifle. I am running a cheap scope. I'm good out to 250 yards with it. I don't have no ballistic drops or anything like that built into the scope. It is just a normal Simmons 8-point on a Savage 308 Axis 2 heavy barrel, like we were talking about before. Um, it it's a really good shooting gun. It's right there where with even some of the higher up guns. I mean, I had it sighted in the first time, 100 yards. We got everything somewhat. The grouping after we got everything tightened down, and I decided, okay, let's see what it'll do at 200. Um, bullseye at 200 and to just 3 inch or like 2 inches outside off that one touching. So um, it performed all right. I mean, I want to be able to cut quarters again. My old rifle, my old 308 111, that thing would cut a quarter out. That thing just was so consistent. And with a cheaper ammo too. I don't know why Winchester makes their ammo the way they do. I don't know how they do it. But every time I've tried, and this isn't a bust on the other brands by any means. I just don't understand what the difference is. They all say they're shooting the same powder. I'm shooting the same grain. Well, they're not shooting the same powder, but they're shooting the same feet per second. I'm shooting 150 grain. I'm not bouncing around bullets, so I've tried the SSTs by Hornady. I've tried the Supermax by Hornady. We've tried the match grade performance by Hornady. They're the worst. They absolutely do not hold crap through my gun for a pattern. Um, I'm shooting to have my bullets touching. I want to know where they're at. I don't want to be aiming at the bullseye and then have a 3-inch group around the bullseye. So I got 6 inches total. It's just not what I'm looking for. So I'm not even going to mess with those ammos. The Hornady American Hunter, that one is okay. It's there, but it's not right there. um, it performs better through my gun than it did my 111. I have tried the new. I have to look at the box. I cannot remember the name. If somebody wants to know the name of them, let me know. Federal came out with a new bullet last year for the 150. It's like a trophy hunter version. It's a bonded bullet. It's lead tipped. That shot better than the American by Hornady. Then you have the cheap Winchester, which is $22 a box. The Winchester Classics. They were right there. The only ones I haven't really tried is Remington. I haven't tried the Remington core locks. That's the next one we're going to get because we are trying to pull everything together and get to where we're hitting 300 yards in a 4-inch circle every shot. And it's not impossible. By any means is it not impossible. So anybody that, because I've been told it's impossible by people out here. I live in New York, and I have a bunch of guys that they just think shots are impossible. I mean, I'm not the world's greatest shot by any means, but I can shoot. I mean, I've won quite a few shooting competitions, and you better be really good if you're gonna outshoot me. I mean, I've shot out to 600 yards and hit deer and brought them home. I mean, I've taken 250-yard shots with a shotgun and gotten them. I get called a liar all the time. It's impossible. 12 gauge won't reach that far. Bull crap. 12 gauges, 20 gauges, they're all underlooked. I get told, oh, they're only a 50-yard gun. In what world is it a 50-yard gun? I hate dumb people. Some people shouldn't even be allowed to have a gun if they're that stupid. But everybody should have a gun to protect themselves from the government and from corruption, and everybody should be able to protect themselves from somebody infringing on your liberties and breaking into your home trying to do you harm. You should have the right to protect yourself. There should be no reason why you shouldn't be able to protect yourself, especially in today's society. No matter what you do, you're being attacked. I mean, if you're a Trump supporter, they hate you. They're attacking you. If you're not a Trump supporter, it's just retarded. And then the government wants to take our guns. I don't see why. It's not the good people like me that abide by the laws, that practice safe shooting, that teach safe shooting, that put food on the table with their guns. I don't understand it. You're not making things harder for a criminal. You're making things harder on us. You're never going to stop the criminals. You'll never get all the guns. It's just retarded. Just so retarded. Sorry I'm ranting and raving on here. There's so much stupidity on that. But anyways, get back what I'm doing. We already made the targets. They're 1/2-inch steel. They're not the 3/4 or the 3/8, the real thin stuff that they're selling at Cabela's. If anybody has any ideas on, because we're thinking of doing 2 different styles. We're either thinking of doing an A-frame with a chain loop through, welded up, that way it doesn't spin, and you can have the pendulum swing, or we're thinking of doing a L-bar down into the ground. My only concern with the L-bar, because it'll make the whole setup lighter to carry around, is that when you set it in the ground and you hit it with like a 308, it's gonna spin in the dirt because it's just one bar holding. We were thinking going 2 to 3 colors. We're thinking of going with a high-vis neon orange, a blood red, and I was thinking of either going with a real deep blue, or going with a purple, something that when you're out there, nothing else is blending in. We are shooting in a grass 300-yard field. It does have huge berms. You can put some pretty big rifles on this range and be safe. The berms are like 10 foot thick, solid dirt. You could put a 50 on there and not have a problem. But that's one of the things that we are coming out with. Just for the steel round target itself, with no chain, no hanger, nothing, from Cabela's, is $45. Some are $80 the bigger you go. For the 4-inch, it was $35. For the 8-inch, I think it was $45, and then for the big 12-inch, I think it was $65. And my goal is to sell them all at the same price. I want to do the 4-inch, because it's costing me the same no matter what, because I'm buying the steel. The 4-inch, then the 8-inch, and then we're gonna do a woodchuck, which I think would be kind of cool. The only thing I have to work out is the chain at first, because if you do have a miss, I want to make sure it's not something that's gonna, when you hit the chain, you're gonna be able to blow it apart. It's gonna happen, unfortunately, because I mean 308 does have a lot of power to it. And another one is I want to make sure I have a heavy enough chain to, when I hit the target, that it doesn't break the chain just from the impact of it hitting the target, not even hitting the chain, just the target. So that would be another, so these won't be even ready until like springtime. If anybody does want one, let me know. I'm thinking about doing them as a giveaway. See how much it's going to cost to ship them, because they are going to be heavy, and see what it's going to cost to sell them, or to ship them. I got to get a hold of the post office and go that route, because I think it'd be nice for people to be able to afford cheaper targets, and maybe do them as a giveaway. Every 500 subscribers, give one away, something like that. I want to do a giveaway once we, to get people to start watching the channel. I got to get out there more. Just hard. With me, I'm waiting on a back surgery. I'm going through everything for my gastric bypass so I can get my back surgery. Last week was one of the best weeks I've had in a really, really long time. Still in pain, but it was a lot more tolerable. I mean, I've had pain so bad that I'm crawling around because I can't even stand up. I'm hunched over at a 45-degree angle and tilted onto the side. It's just hard to get out there for me. I didn't even really get out hunting this year. It was so bad. And then Lenny, he just had neck surgery, and he's got to do a back surgery as well. Last I knew, anyways. We don't really get to talk too much, but he just had neck surgery. I believe it was 2 or 3 discs in his neck. He said they had to go through his throat and do that because he got rear-ended in a car accident. I know the year we start this, everything goes to crap on us, and he's got to have. Last I knew, he did need a back surgery. I think it was 3 vertebrae. Mine is my L1, 2, 3, and 4, and down to 5. Moderate to severe herniations with tears. So it is what it is. My biggest problem is I refuse the medication. I don't want the painkillers. I will just deal with it. I don't want that burden on my hands. I don't want to even attempt to have that kind of an addiction. So, and that's the biggest thing, is the pain. And I know they can help with the pain, but I don't, it's a 22. Is the thing that's going to help with the pain good, or is it bad? I mean, I know people that they were on it just for a couple weeks after a surgery, and like the next 2 weeks were a nightmare after, because they were getting addicted to it, and they had the shakes and all this, and some people just can't kick that, and I don't even want to try it. So I know I can kick it. I was an alcoholic. In my eyes, I was an alcoholic, because I was really bad at drinking. When I could go through a whole paycheck in one night at a bar, yeah. And I wanted to have things, so I quit, just like that. So I smoked for a little bit. It wasn't for me. Just quit. I don't really have an addictive personality, so I don't know. I just don't want to test the waters on something like that. But we are going to be doing another foraging video this spring with leeks. Try to find some more pheasant back mushrooms. And I will be doing some more fishing videos for you guys. Right now, I don't have no ice fishing gear. I had lost all my ice fishing gear over the years. And with my back, I couldn't walk down the banks being slippery to get down for some steelhead. But I didn't even get to go salmon fishing too much this year. I went 2 times and didn't catch nothing. I took my friend's son with me for his first time. He got to see the salmon. They were all over the place, but we couldn't even get them to hook on. I mean, I tried everything I had that night, and we couldn't get nothing. And I could see them. I even swapped down to 6-pound test and a single egg, and I hooked into 2, but the line just wouldn't hold. I mean, I was using, I put a lot of money into a nice rod for steelhead, and it's a Daiwa Aculite. It's got the wood grain solid fiberglass with an Okuma spinning reel. It's a beautiful rod. It's a long rod. It's basically just like a giant ultralight. And every time the salmon would hook, he'd make a run and then start shaking his head, and even with the drag set, because I mean the drag would just be screaming, and then it'd just tink, bust off. So I don't know. I think it was because of the teeth on him. So I don't know. I didn't get one close enough to even see. After that, we just gave up and left. This wasn't a good day. I mean, we had 40 fish straight down from us. And we had 2 rods set up with eggs with a light thing just slowly drifting through, and they would go right around the egg. I'd swap to yarn. We tried flies. I tried woolly boogers, and no matter what it was, as soon as they seen it, they just went around it. So it wasn't really a good salmon year for us. But we went to me and Bear and Jesse went to the Outdoors Expo on Sunday. We're a little disappointed. We got there at 11, and due to weather, it was closed. The Hamburg had a huge windstorm, knocked the power out of our control. No big deal. We had some other running around to do. They gave us free tickets to get in, which was nice. So we left with the intent to come back. We went down to Cabela's. We were going to go look for ammo. My only complaint about Cabela's, it seems like every time I go look for a type of ammo, it's out. The one year we went for Winchester, all the 150 grain were out. I refused to recite in for 165, 180. People say, oh, it don't make that big of a difference, but it will. I ended up getting some PPUs because they were cheap. They're $16 a box. Went through my gun so bad it wasn't even funny, but the old 111, loved them. Then we went this time, we were going to get the Remington Corlock 150 grain, and nope, out. Won't have none in stock for 2 weeks. So we looked around. My biggest complaint about Cabela's is their service. Their service freaking sucks. I was talking to a guy, I was looking at a scope, and it was a beautiful scope. It was a Bushnell Prime, and the guy he showed me the scope, and I says, I'm looking for something in this price range with a ballistic drop compensator in it. I says, I want the, something for some nice distance and a ballistic drop compensator. And he literally looks right at me and says, we don't have nothing in that price range with a ballistic drop compensator. And I looked at him kind of funny, and I'm like, well, I know you do. And he told me he worked there and that he didn't. And even my buddy John said this guy was an ass. And so we went down, and my buddy Jesse Gray. So I went down to I said, I want to go down and look at this scope down here. And the guy walks away, puts the scope in, and then goes into the back room. And I'm like, really, dude? This was a second time I was there, and this guy did that. Just ghosts you. It's like you'll be sitting there talking to him. You're not even there with him for 5 minutes. And you tell them you want to look at something else, and then they disappear to the back. I mean, how do you want to make a sale doing that? So I said, hell with it. I'm waiting for this other guy to finish up, and it was a Nikon Pro Staff. Now, the Nikons, as far as I know, but I haven't done a lot of research on them, at least every one that I've had and that I've seen all have the ballistic drop compensator. And it was cheaper than the other one I was looking at. And they were both the same power. Or no, sorry. The one was a 4x18 by 50. Or 6x18 by 50 on the Bushnell. And the Nikon was a 4x16 by 40. And I pulled it up, and it was a ballistic drop compensator. And I turned right around, looked at the guy, and I says, yeah. I says, see, here you go. This has the ballistic drop compensator, and it's even cheaper than that one. And the guy got offended, and I left because I don't like dealing with dumb people. I mean, if you don't know what you're talking about, then don't do it, because, you know, and the thing that sucks is that was the scope I wanted to look at 2 weeks ago that was on sale, really cheap, and the guy wouldn't even acknowledge us. Every time we said we had something to look at, he would go help a different customer. You know, and this is not the first time that's happened. This is not the second time it's happened. It's like the 10th time it's happened to us. Every time we go in, service is shitty. I went in and bought a pack of arrows, and I wanted to have them cut and stuff. I was in there for 2 hours while the one guy just sat there. I finally got pissed and called the manager, and the manager took care of it. I took 3 trips for ammo the one time, every time they said they were going to have ammo in, and then I ended up calling and talking to the manager. I mean, I've had to talk to the manager there quite a few times because their service is absolutely horrendous. It's horrendous. But I just don't understand it. So, but we went there. We went to Texas Roadhouse, grabbed something to eat. Great service, great food, lovely waitresses as always. And we've seen they had a sale down to Harbor Freight, so we went down there and grabbed some stuff. My friend needed a jack for his car, and got that, and we made it back to the expo. Now the expo was supposed to close at 5, and it was 3 o'clock by the time we got back. So we went in expecting to have like at least spend an hour and a half there. I walked around, ran into a couple of people that I did some reviews on the year before. We talked real quick and stuff. But there are a couple that I wanted to talk to about their product because I didn't release all the reviews yet because we did have problems with a couple of them. And I didn't want to give an unfair review if it was an isolated incident. But after going there and seeing that company didn't even show up, and it made me kind of wonder if they knew the product was kind of shoddy. I won't mention the names of the company that was crappy. But there was 2 companies I really wanted to talk to this year that didn't show up. On a good note, one of the companies I absolutely love, the Click It Clam. I do have order papers. If anybody wants to, we're going to be doing a review on some of their products. Now, the Click It Clam is amazing. It truly is. We got invited to go take a tour of their facility. The guy asked me to come down. They're a all-American company. They're right here in the USA. They're right here in New York. And they are going to let us do a full-on tour of their plant and everything for them. I'm hopefully going to be able to do a video there with the company. That would be awesome. I don't know who I'm going to take with me on that trip to go, but either way, that's going to be something that's going to be really cool. I have a couple ideas that I wanted to pitch to them, and I told them I had a couple ideas for the fishing guys. They do have a lot of they do have one lure box. My goal is I use a lot of Cleos and spinners, and instead of getting your Cleos and your spinners all tangled up, I would like to take a couple of my Cleos and spinners so that way I can have them make a box for them and put in, and that way you can stack, take your hook on one side and then put your hook on the opposite side and stack them in your boxes, because I can't afford a lot of money on my tackle boxes. I mean, I've got so much tackle, everything's all mismatched and all over the place, and it's a pain in the butt. Now, if I had something like that where once I took it out, I mean, my Rapalas, they're still in the box until they get wet, and then you can't use them no more. But I mean, it'd be nice to have something to solidly protect them. So that's something I'm going to bring up to them when I go. I'm going to take some lures with me and see if I can't get them to do that for us. They do a lot of bullets. The only bullet that small normal bullets. They do 308. They do a full 30 caliber line. They do a pistol line. They do a shotgun line. I do not believe, at least that I seen, that they do a 338 Lapua. I don't believe that they do a 50 BMG, but I do know they do 38 or 308, 306, 300s. They might even do 7 mil, but in the pistol round, I think they're missing on the bigger rounds like the 44 Magnum, the 500s, because that was one of mine that, because I shoot a 44 Magnum, I would like to get. But they do have a lot of your common rounds. They do have a 25 box, they call it the big box, that holds your bird shot, which I liked for when I was goose hunting. We will be doing the review on that. We will show you, and I will be going to the company, and we will show you that. Looking for the summertime. That's when it'll probably be the best, because a lot of the guys that work, we can take a weekend and go, because I'm not exactly sure where in New York they are, but I know it's on the eastern side of New York. Met 2 great guys, newer guys out of Olean. I don't have the card with me, but they are a couple of military men that offered us to go shooting with them. They've got tactical training on how to shoot. They got a new scope from a company that is new. This scope looks sick. It has a ballistic drop compensator, really nice clear glass. It has the micro mill adjustments, and then it has a running reticle. If the animal that you're going after is running, you put it on there and you're good. We all thought that was kind of cool. They invited us to go shooting with them. I've invited them to come shooting with us. As soon as the range opens up, we will be doing a video with them as well. The general, I did buy another bow sling from the one gentleman, which he's on here on the video already. Did a review with him last year. You know, a great product. But yeah, I was just disappointed because the 2 companies I really want to talk to about their product, it just, they weren't there. And I didn't go the year before. The 2 years before that I didn't go, and the year before I didn't go. But the last 2 years I've went. Now they said they've been going for 5 years, and I haven't seen them. Very little reviews on Facebook or on YouTube on both of them. Both of the products that I wanted to talk to. The third vendor I wanted to talk to is because I wanted to get a card from them, because you cannot find them on Facebook. They didn't have no cards last year. I couldn't find them on Facebook. I couldn't find them on YouTube, and I could not find them Instagram. None of them. The name and everything's right on the video, so I don't understand why we can't find them, but they do amazing deer scents and stuff like that. They were not there either. So I was just really disappointed they closed early, and We didn't get to talk to a couple of people that we wanted to, but we got to meet a couple of new guys, talk with them real quick. We didn't really have time to do any interviews on them and things because, like I said, they closed early. We just took a quick walk around through, a gander through, and you know, it is what it is. I had a fishing company that's local here in New York that I'm going to be talking to. They are big into salmon. They sell lots of different things. They sell different glow beads, glow soft eggs. They sell egg sacks already tied, all different colors, assortment sacks, 25 sacks for $8. That's ridiculous because you're spending $4, a minimum of $4 for what, 6 sacks at a store, and you just get your normal 2 colors. I mean, these guys have chartreuse. They have purple, pink. I mean, pink's one I've wanted to try. I've seen a lot of guys use it. It looked cool. So I got offered to go too. They have a store, but it's not really a store kind of deal. I got the guy's card and phone number at home. He says, if you really want to check us out, he invited us over. He's down on Route 5 in Hamburg. So he's one that I'm going to be checking out as well. We're going to go check out the military men and see what they're about. Take our rifles over there. Maybe they can teach us something, something we might be doing wrong. You never know. We will be doing videos with both of them. You will get a review of the new scope that I fell in love with, and Bear fell in love with, Jesse fell in love with. I mean, it's expensive though. It's a $1,300 scope, but some guys, they spend that money on them scopes. I don't. I can't. I will bring a good product out for somebody. I want to do good reviews. I don't want to advertise any shoddy products, I guess you can say, because I want people to get their money's worth. If it's a product that I believe could work for somebody and you can afford it, by all means do it, but I will let you know if I can afford it. And that one, at that price, I can't. There's no way. There's nobody in my hunting group that could afford it to spend $1,300. I mean, that's more than what my rifle is. And you don't have to have top of the line to get everything done. But I'm really interested to see how that scope works, and might even invite them to come hunting with us over there at the hunting club, because where we have, there's over 200 acres to hunt. Bring them in. Why not do a hunting video with them? Do have a new camera coming. So hopefully I can do better videos. Right now, like I said, I still am doing everything on my phone. I bought a video camera that was supposed to be really good. It had good reviews, and ended up being a crapper. So you can't hear the sound. And then I was told it had a mic port plug-in, and it does not. So you can't get better sound. The video quality is okay, not as good as what my phone is, but it was okay. And then I bought a GoPro knockoff, which is good. Excuse me. It has good video quality, but it does not accept SD cards very well. I guess is the way to say it, because I'm having a hard time getting it to record on certain SD cards. So I went out and I found a Nikon. What is it? Can't remember the exact name. It has a bunch of lenses with it. Nice big telephotos. It comes with the mic. It comes with everything to do it. It has a good rating. So, and it's cheap. The lady's going to sell it to me really cheap. So I'm going to upgrade that. I got a stand. So we'll bring you better video quality. So, but I'm going to end it on this note. Like I said, thank you, Corey8791, thank you guys for subscribing. If we can start getting more subscribers, more likes and shares and things, it'd be awesome. Help get us out there. You know, we're not here to make money. It'd be nice to make money. It really would. But that's not my main objective. My main objective is to get families back outside, get kids off from the internet and off their game stations and things like that, and go back to the creeks and build dams, have fun, catch crayfish, dig up worms, go fishing, hunting, run through a cornfield and play hide and go seek like I did as a kid. I don't see none of that anymore. I go to a park and with my nieces, and the park is dead. You're lucky if there's 5 kids at the park, which is embarrassing because I used to see 35, 40 kids at the park. They struggle to get enough kids for a baseball team, football teams. I mean, they all think they're great because, well, I can play Madden and I can play this. And the problem is when they get outside, because their own fathers aren't taking them out there and doing things, they find out they suck. And then they get discouraged, so they don't do it. I don't want the kids to feel discouraged. I want the fathers and the kids and the mothers and to come back to the outdoors, hunt, fish, camp. It'd be nice. So I'm going to end the video here. You guys have a wonderful day. Remember, get back out. Make the memories of a lifetime. Memories you'll never forget. Goodbye.